Yes. So I'm Pierluigi Feliciati. I'm a professor, an associate professor of archival and information science. I used to be an archivist in the Ministry of Culture for 20 years. Then I moved to university, and I'm within the Department of Education, Science, Cultural Heritage, and Tourism of the University of Macerata. I teach digital documentation, information science for cultural heritage. I teach bibliographic and archival science for in within the digital world. Um, I teach metadata for digital preservation, metadata for records management, and many other. I always was interested and sensible to open science, to the openness of knowledge, of scientific knowledge, and also, knowledge about society, data, and so on. So I was involved in open access projects, in the involvement of users within the life cycle of information. So I always, quote the general questions regarding open science in my courses, and I organize several activities within the communities around me that I can call citizen science about the landscape, the cultural heritage, and such topics. So yes, I'm very sensible to those topics. I think we are the experts of information, of registered, recorded information. And so that's why we have, I think we have an expertise on how to share let's say, present information and share it with citizens, and even collect from citizens their points of view, their needs, and even their expertise sometimes, because sometimes we need to involve users, involve citizens during our researches. Involve them, engage them, maybe better engage than involve. I had organized several activities that I think can be considered citizen science. First of all, during the development of some portals or databases, or digital resources regarding in the field of library and archival science, especially. I had organized activities of engagement, involvement, and testing with sample users, so citizen. Considering, and I also theorized a little bit the necessity of involving users in the development of services, because I'm afraid that sometimes we as LIS experts, we theorize and we develop services without asking ourselves if they will be satisfactory or not. The question of satisfaction is a complex question, but in general, it's based on the idea that we have to move the pole, the center of our activity in on users, on citizens, instead of on content. So let's say user-driven processes instead of content-driven processes. Contents in the web are not always not easy to be reached. They are not easy to be known, and so a lot of services are developed every day, and most of this money, I think, I'm afraid I'm wasted, because people do not know that those services are active, do not know where to find good authoritative content, and so I have to involve them. So I organized a lot of focus groups, of questionnaires, of surveys, of even brainstorming activities together with experts and citizens together. Then I was engaged, and I'm convinced that the Wikimedia world is a very interesting ecosystem where to involve people in in studying, in training their information literacy competencies, in knowing where they are, what are their, what is their heritage, what is their elements of identity. And so I had organized a lot, I mean, hundreds of labs, meetings, even tours, photographic events, in order to make people more aware about how digital information works, and engage them in creating, with a lot of awareness, with higher awareness, creating knowledge. So understanding knowledge after having created it. And so this is more or less my activity. So like to say, these days I'm making I'm teaching a course, an open course for teachers, for high school teachers, on the use of Wikimedia in their work. So how to organize labs, how to attract the attention of their students about what they have among around them. So their heritage. Just to say what is my approach. So I think I may say that I have a long experience in that. I don't know. I think it would be very interesting to organize um, labs, or I mean, see, probably labs, workshops for students as well, in order to make them sensible about the idea of what are the possible interrelationships, the possible interactions between science, so the world of science, researchers and citizen. It's not always that easy to organize them, especially for a small, medium university like the one where I am. Even if in a place like Macerata, we have a lot of possible, I mean, links with stakeholders, with what we have around us. So, I mean, citizen associations, small municipalities, and so probably it would be nice and good to do it. We had done a lot of activities around these, but not calling it explicitly citizen science. But anyway, maybe we have to work on it for sure. Yeah, it's very complex question. I think that my opinion is that we teachers, I mean instructors, need experience in order to teach citizen science. So maybe we can have theories. We have a lot of theories of methods, of, I mean, guidelines and checkpoints and so on, that of course are essential. There are, I mean, a framework to move in, to start from, but we need to experience ourselves, to, I mean, to put the hands on the citizen science activities, in order to focus it well, and so not just teach the theory, but really involve students in doing citizen science, in feeling what does it means. This is my opinion. The question of sustainability is, is another big question. um, uh, it depends on several topics. I think one question is the transparency and accountability of the activity of citizen science you organize. So I think that you have to report what you do with citizen, the activity that you do with citizens, so the results, and have very transparent and very accountable about what you have organized. This is the first step for long-term sustainability. So data are spread, results are spread, and so they, I mean, they would become part of one's knowledge, of everybody's knowledge, not just closed in our papers, in our books, in our scientific, communication objects. So this is part of the question. Another question is the attention to the long-term sustainability of those projects. Sometimes citizen science events are just, one-time events, very spectacular. They are part of, let's say, of the marketing activities of research centers like universities. So we do that. So it's fantastic. So let's come and try and experience that machine or something. I think, of course, this is interesting, but it's just very short-term experience. We probably would need to invest on citizen science in a with a long term as a strategy, so with a long term view. And so, of course, this means to sustain activities, projects, labs in a medium or even long term. Otherwise, we even citizens don't understand how to interact with research, with science. Just an event, just a weekend of science, and not they don't we can't share with them the idea that science is for everybody, is part of everybody's life. Immediately after the earthquake that affected the area where I live, so here the central Apennines in Italy, I felt the necessity to activate a project that I think it's a sort of a core project. It's not a funded project. It's not. It has no reporting. It's just a framework within within with. A lot of activities could be organized. I called it Wiki Appennino Centro Italia, Wiki Apennines of Central Italy, and around this project, is around this framework, I had organized, me and some colleagues and some friends and some uh, people from the society, let's say, so out of academia, had organized things, events, everything, a lot of activities. This is so sometimes I ask myself, would this project be more, officialized, more formalized? I had formalized it. There's a page on Wikipedia on it. Some articles on local newspaper came out, but this is not the question. It's a question of giving an official form to it, or is better to leave it open. So, like a sort of, of a ball that is close, small and big and full of air. So, who gives air? Who increase the bubble? And this is my view for now. And a lot of activities inspired by this project, this framework, are organized every year, every month. So a lot of things, a lot of people. I calculated that more than 1,000 people was involved, even once. Students, citizens, old, elder people, very young people, children, and a lot of people, associations, and so on. I feel that this could be this idea of openness, of spontaneous activity, could be maybe one of the possible, um, let's say, routes in order to support citizens in their interaction with science. The result of most of these activities was more awareness, first of all, on information, on cultural heritage, on landscape. We worked on wines, we worked on recipes, we organized, children making interviews to elder people, asking them, how do you wear, how would you used to meet, or what kind of recipes that are typical from this city, and so on. This is a way of um, teaching how to gather data, how to gather information, how to create popular information that is essential, because otherwise there are no other places where this information is objectivized, so it has a form, it's recorded. So just to share the idea of these general frameworks that may involve uh, at national or international level, several, let's say, several bodies, several persons or organizations to work together. I'm afraid that sometimes we focus just on one community and we work just with that community. But I think that citizens, it's a very wide word and maybe have to be checked out. I mean, have to be tested in an open, with an open mind, in an open way. So open and citizens, open science, and in this sense, open. It's a very wide word. Open and free, for example, are keywords that have to be experimented, have to be checked out in even experimenting solutions that could result not efficient, but try just test them on the field.